Today I want to talk about binge eating versus the abundance approach. So for years and years, I struggled with binge eating. It was so challenging for me. I was always trying to manage my mood with food. And I didn't know it at the time, but even though I was struggling with depression, anxiety, and all sorts of internal issues, this internal inflammation was actually what was causing me to want to manage my mood with food. When we're inflamed internally, when our hormones are off balance because of an overtoxification from pesticides in the food, from having an overly sedative type of lifestyle that is normalized with lots of bread heavy foods, dairies and milks and baked goods and sugars and all of those types of things, not only are they unhealthy for us and can be the precursor for disease, but they create a state of inflammation within our body that is so difficult to manage, and it also creates almost like a rawness within our body. So this may contribute to leaky gut for some people, or other issues like SIBO or other types of digestive issues. But just on a surface level, this type of raw, inflamed state that our gut is in really drives us to eat those more sugary or quick fix, quick carb type of foods. Now, candida and parasites can also do the same. So when we're in that inflamed state, when we're craving, like out of nowhere, these intensely sugary and carby foods, it's not that we should never have those things, but it is we do want to tune in with our intuition and think to ourselves, is this really me craving this? Is this really my body craving this? Or is there maybe something deeper that may be going on here? Maybe parasite or fungal overgrowth, maybe overtoxification from pesticides, maybe a hormonal imbalance. There can be so many different things affected by our food, and it really comes down to taking a holistic approach to making a change. So why do we binge eat? It's because we teach ourselves that restriction is the only way to heal. As soon as I start talking about nutrition with somebody, they always want to say, oh, well, I've been cutting out dairy and I've been cutting out this and I've been cutting out that. And that's great if you want to eliminate different trigger foods that are triggering issues, inflammation, mucus within the body. We know we don't need that. It's not helping us. It's a precursor for disease, and it's not supporting us in the long run. So that's great. But is cutting out foods the first thing we should be thinking about when it comes to nutrition? What we're cutting out? That doesn't make any sense to me. So let's flip it around. Let's take an abundance approach, and let's talk a little bit more about what that means. So the abundance approach is a concept that I came up with that I think is so important for us to focus on eating in abundance instead of everything in nutrition advice being about what we're cutting out. Why don't we just start with putting in the good stuff? Because we need some extra energy to make those changes. We need some extra support to make those changes. When we're feeling depleted and sick, that is not the time that we have the energy and the willpower to make lifestyle changes that are really going to help us in the long run. That's usually when we're feeling down, depleted, out, depressed. None of those is really going to help us. So starting with an abundance approach is an amazing first place to start whether you're more experienced with cleansing and detoxifying and nourishing your body and eating intuitively, or whether you are not so experienced with it. So I wanted to bring that to the table today to really encourage you to eat in abundance, especially when it comes to living foods. I've been sharing about the living foods lifestyle for the past 4 or 5 years, and it's absolutely changed my life to incorporate more living foods into my eating. So instead of thinking about what I'm cutting out all the time, I'm thinking about what do I want to eat? What life-giving, life force energy foods are all going to be supporting me? And is it fresh fruits in the morning? I started my morning with watermelon. Is it lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, raw foods, salads, cucumbers, hydrating foods, especially during summer. It's so nourishing and yummy to focus on those types of foods. And so when we're nice and full on real, fresh, raw, life-giving foods, we're full of that life force energy. We're full of that vitality. We're full of all of those hydrating nutrients, hydration from the water in the food, but also the nutrients, micro and macronutrients, minerals and vitamins that are supporting our body to heal. This is the baseline of what we should be eating, which is living foods, fresh, raw, live, living foods. Whether you like it in smoothies or whether you want to just grab a piece of fruit and start munching on it, it's an amazing place to start. So this is where the abundance approach can really come in, because when we're focusing on starting with fresh raw foods, then there's not as many craving type of foods or junk type of foods to fill in the gaps. Where we're really craving those things is when we're missing out on our essential nutrients. We're missing those micronutrients, because everything these days in the trending diets, it's all about macros, right? Do you know what macros are? Protein, fruits, vegetables, carbs. Those are your macros. Fats, okay? So we all get plenty of those. We get plenty of those every single day. It's the micronutrients, the nutrients from plants, the nutrients from fresh, raw, live foods, the nutrients from the soil that has been depleted, right? Those are the things that we're missing that are really supporting us to heal on extremely deep levels. So don't get caught up in diet trends. Don't get caught up in the fad of what's going on with keto or paleo or any of these things, because to be honest, honey, none of that's going to help you. Incorporating more plants is what's going to help you raise the level of your nutrition so that you can feel better in your body, so you can have more energy, so you can have better sleep, so you can have less inflammation, so you can have less brain fog and really feel good, because babe, you deserve it. You deserve to feel your best. You deserve to feel full of that life force energy. So I hope this talk today on binge eating versus the abundance approach was helpful for you. It's been a concept that has been transforming my life, and I always come back to it to learn more. If you want to check out more of what we have to offer, check out therebelangels.com/reclamation, or just follow the link in my bio to reclamation. So good to talk with you, and we'll be tuning in more soon for some more tips and some more love your way.